Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 3, and today we're taking a look at the Porsche car pack. And yeah, I know this was released yesterday, but everyone on Xbox One had trouble downloading it. There was a glitch, and yeah, it's only just come online today. But yeah, the car pack itself features 7 cars, 3 of which are new to the Forza series in general, 2 of which haven't been on a Forza game since Forza Motorsport 4, and 2 of which we've seen in Forza Motorsport 6. So yeah, I'm glad that there's some new ones here, and even though this isn't as in-depth as previous Porsche additions to a Forza game, with the Porsche expansion in Forza Horizon 2 having 10 cars, and the expansion in Forza Motorsport 6 having more than 20, this is still fairly decent, and it's mainly down to the 3 new additions. And one of these is the 2017 Porsche Panamera Turbo, which we have here. And yeah, I'm not going to get into too in-depth with these cars that I've not reviewed before, which is the 5 of the 7, and this is one of them, because yeah, they're going to get a full fat review of themselves. But I have to say, I do prefer the look of this to previous Panameras. It does look a lot better, especially from the rear end. Yeah, especially with those headlights. Plus, it's got this cool spoiler. Yeah, that's probably one of the best spoilers to come out at a certain speed that I've ever seen, especially in terms of the way it folds. I really do like that. Also means that it doesn't look as stupid when it does come up, because some spoilers only are able to be situated in between where they actually raise, but because this folds out, it's more extended, and it looks more like a normal fixed spoiler than one that just pops out randomly. So yeah, I do like that, and it's got plenty of power as well. 550 horsepower from its 4-litre twin turbocharged V8, which is plenty of power. Though there is a hybrid version out there that does have more than 600 horsepower, which quite frankly I'd like to try out on this game. But yeah, let's go out there and see what it can do. We're just going to take it for a quick drive on free roam. We'll give it the full circuit treatment in the full review, which I can't wait to try out, because I do like finding out more about these kind of vehicles that we've not had on a Forza game before. And even though we have had a Panamera on previous Forza games, this is obviously the latest, newest version. So it's really the one to take notice. And I think the reason why I like the rear end on this more than previous Panameras is because it does look more... Oh dear, you see the train there. It does look more like a 911 Turbo, quite frankly, from the rear end. So yeah, speed-wise, as you can see, it's pretty good. Unfortunately, unlike the likes of Mercedes, Porsche have had to sacrifice V8 noise for turbocharged power, because yeah, it doesn't sound all that great. I mean, it's audible at least, and it doesn't sound bad like in certain BMW cars, but yeah, you can tell the turbos are a bit limited in terms of well, too overpowered in terms of the engine, which is obvious why they've done it. It's for economy reasons, and getting power out of it as well with economy. But yeah, it's just a little bit disappointing, quite frankly. But there we go. That's a car that I'm going to definitely review in full, and I can't wait, because there's plenty more to it than what I've talked about in this small little review on this video. But yeah, let's move on to the next car. And this is the next car, the 2016 Porsche 911 GT3 RS. So yeah, this is basically a more hardcore version of the GT3, somehow even lighter than that car, and yeah, a lot more extreme as well, with a huge rear spoiler that's nearly up to the roof line, which is absolutely massive, and it's got huge rear wheel tyres, and yeah, plenty of power as well. 493 horsepower from its 4-litre naturally aspirated flat 6 engine, and yeah, it's quite frankly a screamer of an engine. So let's get out there and see what it sounds like. So yeah, this comes across a lot like the 4-litre what is it, 911 GT3 RS from a few years back, and even though I do like that car, this is obviously the newer version, and yeah, I think it might well handle a bit better than that one. But yeah, you can see revs to nearly 9,000 RPM. It sounds pretty damn good as well. And even though, yeah, it's not got the most power of, you know, certain Porsches or even certain supercars, it's as quick, if not quicker, considering how much power it doesn't have in comparison to them. And yeah, absolute screamer of a car. Handles really rather well, thanks to that rear spoiler that's absolutely huge, and those rear fat tyres. It just grips and grips and grips, even in the rain like this. Completely missed that corner there. As you can see, it just grips, and you can tell when it's letting go because it'll remind you with a bit of understeer. So yeah, really good car. Obviously it's more of a track focused vehicle than other 911s, but it's well worth the compromises in comfort and luxury when you consider how good this car is to drive. Plus that engine without turbochargers just absolutely sound amazing compared to normal 911 turbo, for instance. So yeah, again, another new car to this series, and definitely one to try out because it's an absolute screamer. It's just unfortunate that it's on a game without any tracks. Well, any real life tracks anyway. So yeah, let's move on to the final car that is new to the Forza series. Yeah, this is the next car, the 2016 Porsche Cayman GT4. Unlike the GT3 RS, this is a more track-focused vehicle with its big rear spoiler, big fat tyres, less weight on the interior, and yeah, just generally a lightweight car. As you can see, it's not even got door handles on the interior, it's got those little flaps or whatever they're called. But yeah, what you pay for in comfort you get back in terms of performance, and this car handles even better than previous Caymans. So let's take it out there and see what it can do. For some reason it didn't let me press a button then. But yeah, this has plenty of power as well, 385 horsepower from its 3.8 litre flat six. So it's not got nearly as big an engine as the GT3 RS, quite frankly though, because obviously this is a car that costs a lot less. It's not going to have as much power. But it does actually weigh less than that car as well, so yeah, there isn't all that much difference in terms of acceleration. No, top speed is a lot less. But yeah, in terms of itself, it's pretty good, quite frankly. I've never been a massive fan of the Cayman, especially in terms of looks, and it has always just come across as a filler car between the Boxster and the 911. But as filler cars go, this is pretty good, especially in terms of handling and acceleration. If you get it right though, which I didn't. But I never pretend to be the best driver on this game. But yeah, the engine does sound good. Again, naturally aspirated, so it's not restrained by any turbos. And being more track focused, it's going to be a hoot to drive. Even though it doesn't have as big as a spoiler as the GT3 RS, it's still pretty sizable. Yeah, this is the final new car to the Forza series, so now we're going to take a look at the one of the two cars that haven't been on the Forza series for quite a while, since Forza Motorsport 4 in fact, so let's take a look at it. So yeah, this is the next car, the 1995 Porsche 911 GT2, and yeah, this, like I said, was last seen in Forza Motorsport 4. Unfortunately, it didn't make a return in Forza Motorsport 6's Porsche expansion or Forza Horizon 2. But it's a cracking car, and I'm glad they finally brought it back, because, yeah, this is easily one of my favourites, and for two reasons. One, it's got plenty of power from its 3.6 litre twin turbocharged flat six engine, 424 horsepower, and it doesn't weigh all that much either, only 2,855 pounds, so it's actually 100 pounds less than the Cayman, but it has more power, more torque, and yeah, it's a 911, so yeah, it's a bit more desirable than a Cayman. And it's also got another Porsche with a ridiculous wing hiding its engine, which isn't air cooled unlike previous 911s. And yeah, I really do like it. Again, like the Cayman and the GT3 RS, it's more track orientated, so as you can see, it's not really all that much inside in terms of interior. But like again, what you pay for lack of comfort, you gain in terms of performance. So let's see what it can do. So yeah, there's only one other car after this that's been in a previous, hasn't been in a previous Forza game for a while. And again, it's another car that I've wanted in a Forza game for a while as well. Again, I was disappointed that it wasn't actually in the previous expansions of Forza games. But just like this, it's well worth the wait. And as you can see, no slouch for a 22-year-old car. The only other more powerful Porsche they had at this time, well, a few years before, was a 959. So, like the Cayman and the GT3 RS, it takes no prisoners thanks to its only rear-wheel drive layout and plenty of power and all that weight at the rear end as well. Does make it a tricky so-and-so, but it rewards you when you eventually get it right, and you feel a lot more satisfied than you would do in an all-wheel drive 911. And even though it does have turbochargers, they don't overwhelm the engine like newer vehicles. Because turbochargers back in the 90s were made to make the cars go faster, not save the planet. So it does have a great sounding flat 6 engine. Right, so let's let these cars get out of the way. Oh dear, they're crashing into me. I hate the traffic on this game. So yeah, let's look at the final car that's not been in a game, Forza game, since Forza Motorsport 4. Oopsie daisy. And here is the car I've been waiting for, the 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera RS, and yeah, been dying for this car to make a return since Forza Motorsport 4, and yeah, there's plenty of reasons why. You can certainly see the way that they've been influenced by this car over time, because again, big fat rear tyres, big rear spoiler, lightweight, and yeah, you can see that with the GT3 RS and the Cayman GT4. And yeah, it all started with this car, and yeah, great car, quite frankly. It doesn't even weigh all that much, only weighs 2,450 pounds, and yet it has 207 horsepower from its 2.7 litre flat 6 engine, and yeah, an absolute screamer of a car. And yeah, let's take it out there and see what it can do. I was disappointed that this wasn't in the Forza Motorsport 6 Porsche expansion. There were only 3 cars pre-1980s that were in that expansion pack, and unfortunately this wasn't one of them. And even though I did like those 3 other cars, I would have liked this to be a 4th. This is one of those cars that I used a lot on online multiplayer races in Forza Motorsport 4. That's because you could do pretty much anything you wanted with it, because it had plenty of capabilities. You didn't even have to take all that much weight out of it, because it already had little in the way of weight anyway, and yeah, it could handle a lot more than you'd expect. I don't even think I changed the engine in this, because you could get plenty of power out of the standard engine. So yeah, cracking engine, 7,000 RPM thereabouts. Sounds great. And yeah, like the previous cars, I will have a review out of this, because yeah, it was in Forza Motorsport 4, but I never recorded any of the any Forza Motorsport 4 footage outside of that Throwback Thursday episode a long time ago. So yeah, one of the cars that I have wanted to review from the Forza Motorsport 4 days, and I'm glad I finally can, quite frankly. So yeah, let's take a quick look at the next 2 vehicles that we have had in Forza Motorsport 6 and I have reviewed before, so we might take them out or we might not. So let's just see what they are first. So yeah, this is the first of those 2 cars, the 1960 Porsche 718 RS60. Like I said, I have done a review of this on Forza Motorsport 6 already, so search for that. And yeah, cracking vehicle, easily one of the best looking Porsches ever made, and it's got plenty going for it. 160 horsepower, and doesn't even weigh all that much at 1,280 pounds. So yeah, an absolute screamer of a car. 0 to 60 in 5 seconds from 1960. So yeah, cracking vehicle, definitely worth trying out. If you want to see the mirror review, then look for it in the search bar, because yeah, this car has plenty going for it. And the other vehicle that we've already reviewed is the 1955 Porsche 550 Spyder. Not as powerful as the previous vehicle, or weighs little, but it's a cracking vehicle nonetheless. 109 horsepower, only weighs 1,510 pounds from its 1.5 litre flat 4 engine, which, yeah, even though it's not as powerful or as high revving as the 718, it's still a cracking car, and especially from a car from 1955. Very few cars that were faster than this. So yeah, that's the Porsche pack itself. Yeah, like I said, pretty decent, not as expansive as previous Porsche introductions into the game, but as far as it goes with the cars that are on it, they're pretty decent. And there are 5 more to come in Forza events. We've got the 918 Spyder coming, the 911 GT3 RS 4 litre, the 959, the 356A Speedster, and the 1982 911 Turbo 3.3. So there's plenty more vehicles to come. So yeah, it's just more about variety. So 12 extra Porsches into the game is certainly going to mix up the variety on this game. And you don't need to buy this car pack to get those Forza cars. So even if you're not interested in the cars on this pack and you don't want to pay for it, there's still 5 other Porsches you can earn and have pretty much a car pack yourself there for free. So yeah, well worth trying out this car pack, or at least trying to get those cars via Forza. And yeah, expect reviews of the 5 cars that I've not reviewed before to come out later. And yeah, hope you have enjoyed this video. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.